Imagine this for a moment. Your life has not been a random sequence of events, nor a meaningless chain of joys and sorrows. Every season, every silence, every heartbreak, and every victory has been leading you to something greater. You may have thought you were walking alone all this time, carrying the weight of your struggles without anyone truly understanding what you endure. Yet, God has been orchestrating something in the unseen, a divine arrangement, a meeting written in eternity before you even knew the word destiny. There comes a time in every chosen soul's journey when the next step is not just about your own growth, but about the intersection of paths. God's next mission for you is not isolation but connection, not with just anyone, but with another chosen one. Another soul marked by fire, refined through storms, and prepared by God Himself to walk beside you. You see, the chosen often feel alone. They are misunderstood by family, misjudged by friends, and cast aside by the world. Their inner battles are invisible to most, yet God sees them clearly. And in His infinite wisdom, He sends another chosen one to remind them they are not forsaken. This is no ordinary meeting. This is destiny colliding with destiny. Two flames that burn separately but brighter when joined together. Why does God allow such encounters? Because no chosen one is meant to fight every battle alone. Even Moses had Aaron. Even David had Jonathan. Even Jesus, though divine, chose companions to walk with him. The mission of heaven is often too heavy for one heart, but when two hearts chosen by God unite, they carry not only their burdens but also multiply their strength. Perhaps you have been waiting, wondering when your prayers for companionship, understanding, or true partnership will be answered. The wait has been long, because what God is preparing is rare. Chosen ones are not everywhere. They are few, set apart, and often hidden until the appointed time. But when the moment comes, it will not feel like coincidence. It will feel like recognition, like meeting someone you have known before, though your paths have just crossed. Could it be that your next mission is already unfolding? That the loneliness you have endured was not punishment but preparation for this divine encounter? That every disappointment was clearing space in your life for the one God Himself has ordained to stand with you? This meeting will not just comfort your soul, it will sharpen your spirit. For when chosen ones meet, their faith deepens, their vision expands, and their courage multiplies. What was once a whisper of destiny becomes a roar. What was once a fragile hope becomes an unshakable certainty. Do not mistake this meeting as ordinary companionship. It is not merely friendship, nor simply partnership. It is alignment. It is God saying, I have seen your tears, I have heard your prayers, and now I send you one of my own. The power of two chosen ones together is immeasurable, for they inspire each other, protect each other, and rise together in ways they could never achieve apart. So wait with faith, expect with hope, and when you meet them, you will know, not by outward signs, but by the stirring in your soul. For chosen ones recognize each other, not with their eyes, but with their spirit. Before a chosen one can be entrusted with divine companionship, they must first be shaped in the fire of solitude. Solitude is not a punishment, though at times it feels like the harshest sentence of all. It is the sacred classroom of God, where lessons are etched, not upon the surface of life, but upon the depths of the soul, in silence, in nights of unanswered prayers, in seasons of being unseen and unheard. God is crafting within you the resilience, the humility, and the strength required for the mission ahead. Think about it. Gold is not formed in the open air. It is purified in the furnace. Seeds do not sprout in the light of the crowd. They break open in the hidden soil away from every eye. So too are the chosen. Before they are revealed, they are hidden. Before they are joined, they are separated. God draws them away from noise, from distraction, from the shallow validation of the world, so they may discover the eternal anchor of His presence. It is in solitude that your faith deepens beyond surface rituals. You learn to lean on God when no hand reaches out to hold you. You learn to listen to His voice when all other voices fall silent. You learn to keep walking when encouragement never comes. The lonely path is not barren. It is rich with the unseen fingerprints of God. Every tear you shed in silence waters the soil of your destiny. Every unanswered longing shapes your capacity to recognize the answer when it finally arrives. Why does God choose solitude as the training ground? Because chosen ones are set apart. They cannot be built on the fleeting foundation of human applause. Their foundation must be unshakable, rooted in the eternal. Solitude strips away illusions, revealing the raw truth of who you are and who God is. It exposes your weaknesses so that He may strengthen them. It reveals your wounds so that He may heal them. It teaches you dependence on Him alone, so that when another chosen one enters your life, you will not cling to them out of desperation, but walk with them out of wholeness. Consider how many times in Scripture God prepared His servants in isolation. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel. David tended sheep in obscurity before becoming king. Elijah fled into the desert, where he learned to hear the still small voice of God. Even Jesus spent 40 days in solitude before beginning His ministry. Solitude precedes significance because it is in the hidden place that God refines His chosen. Perhaps this is where you are now. Perhaps you feel the ache of loneliness, the weight of being misunderstood, the silence of unanswered questions. But do not despise the solitude. It is not evidence that God has abandoned you. It is proof that He is preparing you. When you finally meet another chosen one, you will not come as a fragile soul desperate for healing. You will come as one who has been forged in solitude, ready to stand strong beside them, ready to carry a mission that only the chosen can bear. There is no such thing as chance when it comes to the lives of those God has marked. What looks like coincidence to the world is, in reality, the weaving of divine threads into a tapestry only heaven could design. The meeting of two chosen ones is never accidental. It is orchestrated by the hand of God, arranged long before either soul even understood the weight of their calling. You may think your steps are ordinary. You may believe that the places you go, the people you encounter, the conversations you have are random. But Scripture tells us, the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. When God sets a meeting in motion, no distance, no obstacle, no opposition can prevent it. Paths that seem to run parallel suddenly converge. Journeys that appeared disconnected are revealed to be parts of the same story. And when the moment arrives, it is as though the universe itself bends to bring two chosen souls face to face. Why such precision? Because chosen ones carry missions too important to be left to chance. Their meeting must happen at the right time, in the right season, with the right hearts. If it comes too early, the weight of immaturity could destroy what God intends. If it comes too late, the mission may wither in delay. That is why God Himself arranges it, ensuring that every detail aligns with His perfect timing. When chosen ones finally meet, there is often a sense of recognition that goes beyond words. It is as if your spirit whispers, "I know you," not because of shared history, but because of shared destiny. The struggles you have endured, the faith you have clung to, the tears you have shed, these have prepared you to understand each other without needing lengthy explanations. It is not the meeting of strangers, but the reunion of souls God has always intended to join. Think of Jonathan and David. Their bond was not built on coincidence, but on covenant. God knew David would need a friend who understood the weight of kingship even before the crown was placed on his head. Their meeting was timely, purposeful, divinely set. In the same way, when another chosen one enters your life, it will not be random, it will be revelation. It will be revelation, and here is the beauty. When God orchestrates such a meeting, it is undeniable. Doors open, paths align, hearts connect in ways no human effort could arrange. The forces of heaven work silently but powerfully, bringing together what no human hand could design. Others may call it luck, but you will know it was destiny. So, if you are waiting, do not be discouraged. Do not force connections or chase after fleeting bonds. Trust that God is writing your story with deliberate care. When the time is right, He will bring another chosen one into your life. Not a counterfeit, not a distraction, but the exact person whose soul resonates with yours. And when that day comes, you will realize that every delay, every detour, every heartbreak was necessary to lead you to this divine encounter. When God unites chosen ones, the bond is not simply to soothe loneliness or provide comfort. It is to multiply strength. Alone you have carried burdens, fought battles, and endured storms. But when another chosen one walks beside you, what once felt overwhelming suddenly becomes bearable. Two voices in prayer become a fortress. Two hearts aligned with heaven become unstoppable. This is why Scripture declares, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor." If either falls, one can help the other up. Think about what it means to multiply courage. Courage in solitude is noble, but courage in companionship becomes contagious. When you feel weak, the other lifts you. When doubt creeps into your soul, their faith steadies you. When fear whispers, their voice drowns it out. This is not dependency, it is divine synergy. One flame flickers, but two flames blaze against the darkness, refusing to be extinguished. The enemy knows this truth well. That is why he works tirelessly to isolate chosen ones, convincing them that no one will ever understand, that no one is trustworthy, that no one is truly meant for them. His aim is to keep you fighting alone, weary and vulnerable. But when God brings another chosen one into your life, the enemy's strategy shatters. You are no longer standing alone on the battlefield. You are part of an army, however small, with victory written over your union. Consider David again. Before Jonathan, he fought lions, bears, and even Goliath alone. But when Jonathan entered his life, David gained more than a friend. He gained an ally who would protect him, encourage him, and walk with him through the treacherous path of kingship. Their bond multiplied David's ability to endure the storms of jealousy, betrayal, and pursuit. Alone, he was strong. Together, he was unshakable. True companionship does not just provide emotional relief. It sharpens purpose. Chosen ones are mirrors for each other. They reflect back what you sometimes forget: your worth, your calling, your divine assignment. In moments when you question yourself, their presence reminds you of who God says you are. In seasons when you want to quit, their persistence reignites your will to press on. Alone, you may doubt your destiny. Together, you live it with conviction. This is why the meeting of chosen ones is holy. It is not about filling space in your life. It is about enlarging your capacity for the mission ahead. The strength you gain together is not only for personal comfort, but for divine purpose. Together, you can face opposition that would crush you alone. Together, you can build what you could never build in isolation. Together, your lives become testimonies of God's wisdom in uniting His chosen. So, when God brings such companionship, Recognize it for what it is, a divine strategy to multiply your strength and courage. It is not weakness to need another, it is wisdom. For God himself declared, "It is not good for man to be alone." And when he joins chosen ones, he does so not to diminish their independence, but to magnify their power. One of the greatest mysteries of divine connection is the way chosen ones recognize each other. It is not the kind of recognition born of worldly standards, status, beauty, wealth, or achievements. It is something deeper, something spiritual, something that stirs within the soul long before the mind can comprehend it. When chosen ones meet, there is an unspoken familiarity, as though they have known each other in eternity, even before time began. This recognition is not superficial. It cannot be explained by shared interests or common backgrounds. You may come from different worlds, different experiences, even different cultures, and yet there will be a resonance, a chord that vibrates in harmony the moment your spirits encounter one another. It is as though the inner wounds, the hidden prayers, the sacred hopes you have carried in secret are suddenly understood, without a word being spoken. Appearance may deceive, but spirit cannot. The world often values the outer image, but chosen ones see through the veil. They look past the masks, the pretenses, the carefully constructed identities. They recognize the scars, the battles, the faith and the resilience in each other's eyes. It is a recognition not of flesh, but of fire. The fire that only God can place within a soul. This is why chosen ones often describe their meeting as home. Not because they have lived in the same house or shared the same journey, but because the spirit feels safe, seen, and known. It is a rare recognition, and it does not come with everyone. With most people, you explain yourself, defend yourself, or hide parts of yourself. But with another chosen one, you feel no need to disguise your truth. They see you, and you see them. Think of how Mary, carrying Jesus, visited Elizabeth, carrying John. The moment they greeted one another, Elizabeth's child leapt in her womb. Why? Because chosen ones recognize each other by spirit, even before they see the fullness of their destinies. John would prepare the way for Jesus, and even before birth, their spirits were aligned. Recognition is not bound by time, it is eternal. This recognition is vital because it guards you against counterfeits. Many will try to imitate the bond of the chosen, but the Spirit testifies to what is real. You may be deceived by appearances for a season, but the soul cannot be fooled forever. When you meet the one God has appointed, your spirit will confirm it in ways words cannot capture. It is not attraction alone, nor admiration alone. It is destiny whispering, "This one is chosen, like you." This recognition carries responsibility, for when two chosen ones meet, they must honor the divine weight of the connection. It is not to be treated lightly, nor dismissed carelessly. To dishonor it is to dishonor God's orchestration. To embrace it is to step into alignment with His purpose. So watch carefully, not with the eyes of flesh, but with the eyes of spirit. When God sends another chosen one, you will know, not because they look the part, but because their soul resonates with yours. It will not be the noise of the crowd that convinces you, but the quiet certainty that only the Spirit of God can give. When God unites two chosen ones, the purpose of their union is far greater than mere companionship. It is not only for comfort or the relief of loneliness. It is to inspire, to protect, and to sharpen one another in ways no ordinary relationship can. This is a bond built not on convenience but on covenant, and its weight is sacred. Chosen ones by nature carry heavy burdens. They are often misunderstood, targeted by jealousy, and sometimes crushed by betrayal. Alone, the load can feel unbearable. But when another chosen one walks beside them, inspiration begins to flow like living water. Where one sees weakness, the other speaks life. Where one begins to doubt, the other reignites faith. Where one feels the heaviness of the battle, the other lifts their gaze back toward heaven. Inspiration does not come from rehearsed words or empty encouragement. It comes from lived experience. When chosen ones inspire one another, they draw from the deep well of their own trials, their own scars, and their own victories in God. Protection is another divine reason for their union. The world may not see the warfare that chosen ones endure, but heaven does. When two are united, they stand as shields for each other. They pray for one another, interceding in the quiet hours when the other cannot even find words. They guard each other against deception, against weariness, against the subtle lies of the enemy. Alone, a chosen one can be ambushed. Together, they become a fortress. This protection is not only physical, but spiritual, and it creates a covering that cannot easily be pierced. Then there is sharpening. Proverbs tells us, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Chosen ones are not meant to leave each other stagnant. They are meant to challenge one another, to refine one another, to call each other higher into the fullness of their destiny. Sharpening is not always easy. It can feel uncomfortable, even painful at times, but it ensures that neither grows dull or complacent in their walk. Through honest words, loving correction, and constant encouragement, chosen ones keep each other aligned with God's will. Think of it like two swords forged in fire. Alone, each blade is strong, but together they strike against one another to create a keener edge. Their sharpness becomes unmatched, their strength multiplied, and their purpose undeniable. That is the essence of chosen union. Not to remain as they were, but to become sharper, braver, and more effective for God's mission. The beauty of this relationship lies in its balance. Inspiration without sharpening would leave them stagnant. Protection without inspiration would leave them tired. But all three together, inspiration, protection, and sharpening, form a divine triangle that sustains their walk. One chosen one alone may falter, but two together become an unshakable testimony of God's wisdom in pairing His own. So when such a union comes, do not see it as ordinary friendship. See it as God's gift, a divine strategy to ensure you never walk weakened, unguarded, or uninspired again. Waiting is necessary because chosen ones are rare and hidden until the right time. Patience is perhaps the hardest lesson for the chosen, especially when the heart aches for understanding and the soul longs for true companionship. Yet waiting is not a waste. It is part of God's plan. The reason the wait feels long is because chosen ones are rare. They are not scattered carelessly across the earth. They are few, refined by God, and often hidden until the precise moment they are meant to be revealed. You see, chosen ones cannot be rushed. They are crafted slowly, like fine pottery in the hands of the Master. Every trial, every setback, every silent season shapes them into vessels strong enough to carry the mission God has prepared. If you meet too early, before either has endured the necessary refining, the connection may break under the weight of immaturity. But when the right time comes, both will have been prepared through their separate journeys to recognize and honor what God is doing. This is why you cannot compare your timeline to others. The world may celebrate quick connections, instant friendships, or fleeting partnerships, but chosen ones do not move by the world's clock. They move by God's timing. He is not simply arranging schedules. He is preparing hearts. He is aligning circumstances. He is making sure that when chosen ones meet, it is not a passing encounter, but a permanent shift in destiny. Hiddenness is also necessary. Many times God conceals His chosen to protect them. If exposed too early, they may fall prey to envy, attack, or misuse. So He keeps them covered, hidden in the shadows, working silently in their lives until they are ready to stand in the light. The waiting you experience is not only for you, it is also for them. Somewhere, another chosen one is walking their own lonely road, praying their own desperate prayers, and waiting just as you are. Both of you must endure the process, so that when God brings you together, the connection will be unbreakable. Think of Joseph, hidden in prison, forgotten by men, yet remembered by God. At the right time, he was elevated to the palace, not a moment too soon or too late. The same principle applies to chosen ones waiting for one another. God does not forget. He does not delay without reason. The wait is evidence of the rarity of what He is preparing. And here is the truth. When the wait is over, you will not regret a single moment of it. The loneliness will make the connection sweeter. The silence will make the voice of recognition louder. The years of endurance will make the union unshakable. What once felt like delay will be revealed as preparation. So, while you wait, trust. Trust that God knows the hour, the place, and the moment. Trust that He has not forgotten you. Trust that the chosen one meant to meet you is being shaped even now. And when the time comes, you will see why waiting was not just necessary, it was divine. When God brings two chosen ones together, something extraordinary happens. Destiny itself gains momentum. Alone, each chosen one carries vision, strength, and resilience. Yet, even the strongest of souls can grow weary when walking alone. But when two chosen ones stand side by side, the power of heaven flows through their unity in ways that cannot be hindered. Their connection is not built on chance or human effort, but upon divine appointment, and what God appoints cannot be undone. This unstoppable destiny is more than personal fulfillment. It is kingdom impact. Chosen ones do not meet simply to enjoy companionship. Their union has ripple effects far beyond themselves. Through their alignment, God releases wisdom, strength, and influence that changes lives around them. Their prayers shake the heavens. Their actions inspire others to rise. Their faith creates an atmosphere where miracles are birthed, where hope is restored, and where God's light penetrates the darkest corners. Nothing intimidates the enemy more than the union of chosen ones. Alone, you are a threat. Together, you are a force. This is why your waiting season felt so heavy, because the enemy tried to convince you it would never happen. He wanted you to believe you would walk alone forever. But he knows that when God finally orchestrates this union, no weapon formed against you will prosper. He knows that the mission God entrusted to both of you will advance with a speed and power He cannot stop. The beauty of this unstoppable destiny is that it is not fragile. It does not break under trials. It does not crumble under pressure. Instead, trials refine it, storms strengthen it, and pressure reveals its worth. Two chosen ones walking together do not avoid storms, they conquer them. They do not escape trials, they emerge from them sharper, wiser, and stronger than before. Their union does not weaken under attack, it thrives because it was built by God, not man. Look at how Scripture testifies of the unstoppable power of divine partnership. Moses and Aaron together led God's people out of Egypt. Ruth and Naomi together created a lineage through which the Messiah would come. Paul and Silas together prayed and sang in prison until the earth shook and the doors flung open. These were not ordinary relationships, they were divine alignments. and once aligned, their destinies could not be stopped. This is what awaits when God unites you with another chosen one. Your prayers will carry more weight. Your vision will become clearer. Your strength will multiply, and your destiny will move forward with unstoppable force. Not because of who you are, but because of who God is in your union. So, when that moment comes, do not doubt it. Do not shrink back. Step boldly into the calling God has prepared for you both. For together, your lives will bear witness to the world that God's timing is perfect, His plans are sure, and His purpose is unshakable. Beloved, your journey has not been random. Every moment of solitude, every season of waiting, every tear shed in silence has been part of God's preparation. You have been shaped in the hidden place so that when the time comes, you will be ready to recognize the one God has chosen to walk beside you. This meeting will not be ordinary. It will be divine. It will not be fragile. It will be unshakable. It will not be accidental. It will be orchestrated by the very hand of God. And when it happens, you will understand why the wait was long, why the road was hard, and why you sometimes felt alone. For God was not withholding from you. He was preparing you. When two chosen ones meet, heaven rejoices, hell trembles, and destiny moves forward with unstoppable force. This is your next mission. Trust God's timing, believe His promise, wait with faith, for the same God who carried you through solitude is the God who will bring you into alignment with another chosen one. And when He does, your lives together will shine as proof that His ways are higher, His plans are perfect, and His purposes can never fail.